This is Selena and Simon, and they're going to do this demonstration. Now the trick of this, we call it a Bittless challenge. And the challenge is that this horse has never gone without a bit in his mouth.
My name is Selena Dickmann, and I'm with Little Bow Fjords from Bergen, Alberta. This is one of my fjord ponies, Bergen Simon.
Isn't that wonderful? And halt. And bring him up to a canter. These are all the real basics. There we go. And halt. And if you turn square onto the side of the arena there, and let's ask him to back up. This is a good fellow. We had a fjord in here last year, and he was doing some of that, sort of opening his mouth and saying, I don't want to do it. So what you want to watch is what's going to happen when she puts him into a totally different piece of equipment. Walk, trot, canter, stop when you ask him, back up. Those are your basics. Now, you have a few minutes to show whatever else Simon can do. The trick is, whatever you do, and make it as challenging as you can, please, whatever you do this way, you're going to have to do over again in the bitless bridle. One of the biggest questions we're ever asked is, how long does it take my horse to go from riding in a bit to riding in a bitless bridle? So we like to come in here and find out with different horses, because people do everything. Mind you, I've not seen anybody riding backwards in a bitless bridle. I've seen someone ride a horse blindfolded, where the horse was blindfolded. I'll tell you more about that in a little while. Okay, I think it's time to switch over to the nurtural bitless. And Jerry, would you? The magic thing about this bridle is what we call the circle X underneath the jaw. And that lets you set the straps wherever you need them for your horse. So you can move the straps backwards or forwards. You can make your rein straps, that's the ones that attach to the reins, you can make them longer or shorter. And so we say, okay, when I pull this way, you turn this way. I pull this way, you turn that way. And if I pull on both these, back up. With the bridle properly fitted, the important thing is I can wiggle my fingers back here. There's no pressure where it crosses the jaw. Because if there's pressure there all the time, then it's always telling the horse to pick his head up. So with this bridle, you have to have room for the release. You've got to be able to wiggle your fingers everywhere. Wiggle your fingers under the nose, wiggle your fingers here, wiggle them there. And so that lets you give him that pressure and release of natural horsemanship. Okay, you can practice in the saddle. Now you have to get the horse used to it. So normally you would take a few steps at a walk and then stop. And a few steps at a trot. Yeah, he's giving nice, she's saying. So for the horse, it's an entirely new experience. So I've had people say to me, it's a wonderful chance to re-educate your horse. If you've got a problem you're working on, don't expect that he's going to react the same way. Sometimes with the backup, you need to put your hands a little lower to start with. Yeah. We recommend you start in a safe place, that you take a few steps at the walk and you stop. You take a few steps at the walk and you turn. Take a few steps at the trot and stop. Take a few steps at the trot and turn. Make sure you've got your brakes, make sure you've got your steering before you head out. Okay, when you're ready to go, we can start over again. Do you think do you feel confident enough to go forward at a walk? Yes, okay. And stop, please. And lo and behold, he stops. Okay, let's trot him around, and at some time unknown to you, I will ask you to stop. Okay. And she's got brakes. Let's do her at the canter. There he's bringing his head down a little bit. Soon you'll hear him snort, and that means he's really relaxing and getting the idea of it. Right on cue. And stop, please. And he stops. You're right where you were before. Will he back up for you? Yeah. What he's getting to so very nicely there is there's a little bit of gripping material in the nose band. And when they feel that gripping on their nose, the horse backs up. I have to play. Let's see what you can do. Okay? Let's see how much he's needed that bit he's been using all these years and what he can do without it. Last year we had a big percher on in here. We had a fjord. We had a gal bring in her barrel horse that she said would never stop without a bit in its mouth. Horses in here that are so green broke that the only way it would stop is when it hit the wall. And in our bridle, at least it would stop. Wasn't pretty, but it stopped. Often horses will stop better in this bridle. We had an opportunity of riding in the backyard if you're a backyard horse lover or if you're competing at the highest level. Most horse riders and trainers want two things. You want a better relationship with your horse and you want better performance. And we found that with this bridle, we're often able to get both of those.